So, you're a Ferelden girl who decided to live in Orlais.
I did not decide to live in Orlais. My mother took me there with her. I know how you feel about the Orlesians, but I am not one of them.
You may as well be. You grew up there, your views and values are theirs. I've heard you speaking with the others. You find Ferelden unsophisticated, barely civilized.
No, this is not true.
You're painted to look like you're a Ferelden, but scratch the surface and find nothing but Orlais underneath.
Tan Logan, you must have great stories about King Meryk.
Oh? Are you looking for a new slant on the ones they tell in Orlais?
No. Oh, does everything have to be about nationality with you? Why must every moment of life have to be a matter of politics? Do you think they do not admire Meryk in Orlais? Because they do. There is nothing like a dashing rebel prince to capture the imagination, you know.
Even when he rebels against you?
Especially then. It makes him roguish, much more romantic. And if he must face overwhelming numbers of chevaliers with only a few untrained farmers, then he's even more valiant.
Liliana, this runs counter to all sense and accountability.
People aren't sensible creatures all the time, and stories are accountable to no one. Have you never loved a tall tale simply because it made your heart race?
Huh.
You can all you like. You know I'm right.
You are much taller than I expected.
Am I? You expected me to be short?
Well, you are also younger than I imagined. Great generals are supposed to be old men who sit far from the battlefield.
I've never been nor hoped to be a great general, then.
No? I suppose that explains your loss at Ostagar, then.
I see you staring owlishly at me, young lady. I suppose you disapprove of me being here as well.
No, indeed. You are a vast improvement over Alistair. That, however, is not saying a great deal.
So what, now we're supposed to be best friends? Bosom buddies? Sit around the campfire and sing together?
Somehow, I've no desire ever to hear you sing, dwarf.
Just don't start thinking that you belong here.
Oh, I'm in no danger of that, I promise you. I saw a golem like you once, back when I was fighting in the army with Meryk many years ago.
Good for it.
Could you be the same creature? You were more servile then. The pet of a mage in Arl Rendorn's employ.
Do I strike it as servile?
Not at all. Perhaps I'm mistaken. I would no doubt remember such sarcasm.
Then we're in agreement. It could have won its battle. It knows this, surely.
I am to be subjected to the golem's ruminations now. Charming.
It said that it did what it had to do in order to protect its nation. But that is not quite true, is it?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Golem.
It could have slain the woman, Anora. Then it would have been made king long before any challenge could have been made.
You are speaking of my daughter, if you're not aware.
I am aware. It said, however, that it would do anything that it had to. But this was not true.
I was unwilling to kill my own daughter, yes, that is true. You think me weak for it?
I am uncertain. Had it known then what it knows now, would its decision have been different?
No, I would not have killed her, even had I known.
Then I am content.
I didn't think it was a human practice, making a comrade of a defeated foe.
It isn't. These are unusual circumstances.
It is encouraging to see.
Encouraging? How so?
Perhaps your people are becoming more like Qunari. You could do worse.
Do you mean to say that Qunari do make comrades of their beaten opponents?
Kunari do not waste resources, and few are more valuable than lives.
How exactly do you go about making your enemies work for you?
We're a persuasive people, if you couldn't tell. Why did you leave them?
I beg your pardon?
The men at Ostagar. They were your brothers in arms, were they not?
They were.
Your place was on the field.
Do Kunari soldiers never retreat, then?
We never need to.
We do. Tell me, what did the Kunari come to Thedas for?
You know the answer.
Do I?
Yes. Why did humans come here?
Humans have always been here.
Have they? The elves tell another story.
That happened so long ago, it can reasonably be said that humanity has been in Thedas forever.
You have a strangely short view of eternity, then.
What are you playing at?
I beg your pardon?
He may be young, but he's no fool. I doubt he's forgotten what you've done.
Madam, I've no idea what you're trying to suggest. Speak plainly. If you wish to accuse me of something, do it.
Oh, I have so many things to accuse you of, Loghain MacTier, that I hardly know where to begin. But I'll save them for another time. For the moment, know that I am watching you. Don't think a few friendly words for the Warden will put everyone off their guard.
If watching me amuses you, madam, feel free. Now, if you don't mind, I have things to attend to. You can stop scowling at me, madam.
Did I need your permission? I see.
Fine. I confess. It was entirely my idea that Uldred consort with demons. I had a dastardly scheme in which the utter destruction of Ferelden's best weapon would benefit me personally. Are you satisfied now?
Do you think your deal with Uldred was where you earned my contempt? I was at Ostagar. I witnessed Kaelin's murder.
Such loyalty.
What is that supposed to mean?
Did you try to save him, then? My apologies.
I was fortunate to escape with my life.
So you didn't rush to your king's rescue? I see. And both of us left the boy to die.
I was no general at the head of an army. I could never have reached him.
And I had no magic that could break those Darkspawn ranks, but perhaps you think I ought to have tried regardless. No doubt the lives of mere soldiers are cheap in the eyes of the Circle.
And what of all the soldiers who died with their king? Their lives were worth nothing to you.
You think so, do you? I knew their names, mage, and where they came from. I knew their families. I do not know how you mages determine the value of things, but they were my men. I know exactly how much I lost that day. I've seen you eyeing me, Wen. Trying to watch for the moment when I turn on you.
I thought you'd be more likely to attack me in my sleep, actually. Isn't that what you do? Strike when your quarry cannot defend themselves?
You've made your point.
I do not trust you, Loghain.
I've become a Grey Warden. I've made promises. If I break them, my life is forfeit.
That does not give me much reassurance.
That's not something I can change.
I will remain wary of you, Loghain, for a very, very long time to come.
You look as though you want to say something, Wynne. What's stopping you? You've never held your tongue for politeness' sake before.
No, it's nothing.
Why should that matter? Been plenty of occasions in the past when you've had nothing to say and said it anyway. Loudly, in fact.
Loghain, you are not making this any easier.
My apologies. I should certainly not be complaining that you've no vitriol for me.
I would rather have something scathing to say to you, but I do not. I feel I should admit that I have been mistaken about you.
As it is a rather brave thing to admit a mistake, I will only say thank you.
Yes. Well, it won't happen again.
So, is it Lord Logain?
I'm no longer a Terran, nor even a knight. Address me without a title as you would any other Grey Warden.
So just Logain, then.
Correct. What's on your mind?
You know who I am, yes? I was one of the crows you hired to kill the Grey Wardens.
I thought you looked familiar.
Well, I just wanted to report that I failed my mission, Logain.
You don't say.
I'm terribly broken up over it.
Well, thank you kindly for informing me. Here, some smoked boar safe from supper. It'll do you good. I had a Mabari once. A Dara, that was her name. We found her in the woodshed one night. She was still a pup then. We never figured out where she came from. My mother called her a gift from the Maker. And she really was. She was beautiful. She had a lovely chestnut brown coat and the most intelligent, understanding eyes. You would have liked her. We grew up together. She never left my side, not once. 10 years we had her, before she was taken away. Another time, perhaps. Finish your snack. Oh, don't give me that face. I'm betting you want the cheese in my pocket. Very well, here you go. Don't eat it all at once. Or do, whichever you prefer. I used to keep cheese in my pocket for Adala, too. I think the rinds were her favorite part. I mentioned she was taken from us, did I not? This was when Orlais still ruled, and it was an Orlesian lordling who took her. He wanted to mix the blood of our noble Mabari with their frail, wasp-waisted gamehounds, which were bred for looks, not intelligence. Tried to keep her, but there was little I could do to stop the Orlesian. I wasn't even a man then. You can imagine what it was like for her, being torn away from the boy, the family she was bonded to. It was 6 months before we saw her again. The Orlesians returned her, and when I say returned, I mean pushed her out of his wagon. She was skin and bone, and still carried the scars from where their pronged collars bit into her neck. She never quite recovered. She passed away after a week. It was as though she held on long enough to come home to us. I held her head in my lap. I believe she died happy.